What is going on, everybody? So, this week is all about traveling and about being social and gathering outside support. So we thought one of the best things to teach you guys is how to just throw a fun pizza party.
Because why not?
Why not?
It's
Pizza.
their pizza and there's a party. What's not to love?
The beautiful thing though about this pizza is there's no wheat involved. It's completely vegan, gluten-free, and it's also delicious. We make this pizza. We have pizza night at least every other week,
Pretty frequently, and it was definitely inspired by soca, which is a traditional street food in France, and it just happens to be high protein, gluten-free, vegan, and super easy to make.
And it's made from just chickpeas, so it's so easy. It's actually much easier to make than pizza dough, and you get to make it in minutes. And the cool thing is, what we like to say is, invite some friends over, have them bring some of their favorite ingredients. You make the basic shell for the pizza, and then you can add whatever toppings you want. Everyone can make their own little custom pizzas. You can get creative. It's a great way to have a potluck. And as opposed to inviting your friends over and feeling like, oh, we're gonna eat salads, you make it fun. They're excited to come by. Maybe they'll be inspired to want to make it themselves.
And on top of that, you get to be your own little Michelangelo to create if you want to make a face pizza or whatever you want. So it's this is really a fun way to kind of get creative, interact with your friends, and really just do something different.
And it's simple. It's very there isn't much cooking and much cleaning. You're a lot of the stuff you'll see in a minute is stuff we use, the earlier techniques of the sauteing and the roasting. You're just roasting vegetables, sauteing some stuff, having some fresh stuff, getting it started. And so the first thing is this stuff right here. This is chickpea flour, also known as garbanzo flour. And it's very simple. You can buy Bob's Red Mill, makes a great version, or you can just get chickpeas and just blend them up in your blender until they're a fine powder.
You might want to have a high-speed blender that goes real fast and real hard, because otherwise it might be, you might have some chunks in there, so when you're eating it, you can be feel like a horse. You're So it's super easy, and I guess we'll just show you guys how to do it. So dry ingredients first. So we're just going to add a little bit of pink Himalayan sea salt.
And if you want, you can add some spice to it. You could add some garlic powder, some paprika, but keep it simple.
Smoked paprika, Spanish, my favorite, super smoky.
And I also should say, there are a ton of vegan and gluten-free pizza doughs. I mean, most pizza dough is vegan automatically, but for the gluten-free realm, there are lots of different recipes. You can go online. Some of them use a mixture of rice flour and different bean flours and starches and stuff, and we find some great ones, but we always go back to this.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, years and years ago, I used to use the xanthan gum and the thickener and the cornstarch and the potato starch, and I started to really notice that it really affected my stomach a lot, and I would experience extended belly and IBS symptoms. So I started to really research and understand that highly processed ingredients, even though they're gluten-free and healthier for you, actually were causing a ton of inflammation in my body. So this fulfills all the pizza texture, fun, sensorial experiences that we're looking for, and it's also really good for you. So that's a 1, 2.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's make it. I'm hungry. It's almost lunch.
It's past lunchtime,
it's past lunch.
So you just kind of put the flour around, and then you start out with a little amount. I don't know if you can see too well, but I kind of made a little well. So think about it you're making a little volcano at first. You kind of make a little part in the center, and then you add water, and as you go, you just do this and then that.
Put some water in there.
And then you start to mix it, bringing in the sides. Everybody's getting in the pool and playing together very nicely.
More?
Sure.
So there's different ways to do this. We're going to do more of a battered pizza dough. You can also make it more thick if you kind of want to roll it out. But we find the batter is so easy to make because it allows you just to kind of pour it in your pan, fry it up, and have a good time.
Yeah, and you want to go little by little, otherwise you'll start to notice that it gets clumpy. I'm little by little.
Little by little.
Little by little.
I'm a master pizza maker.
Cute by cute.
But this is all intuitive cooking, so we're kind of feeling it out. And the thing is, if you add a little too much water, it's okay. Some of the water will cook out. If you don't add enough and it gets a little cracky and dry, you can add some more water. That's looking good, babe.
And you want to kind of course, because we made it.
Alright.
And so you kind of notice, I don't know if you guys can really see this.
Probably not.
Probably not. But I'll tell you, so there's kind of like, see these little pockets in there? Those little sort of nuggets? That's like, so see how that just exploded? So guys, you really want to make sure to mix your batter well, because otherwise when you eat it, you might get little pockets of just like uncooked flour, which is never super fun.
And a whisk is probably smarter in
hindsight.
a whisk or a fork or something. But it's
yeah,
all good.
But it's all good. It just means you get a little bit more elbow grease into it to really kind of mix out. And honestly, what's cool about this is that now this is like a fun experience where it's meditative. And I get to kind of mix things up.
I think it's about ready to go too. So we get it in. So I have this is a non-stick pan with some oil and just a little olive oil because we're doing the pizza, Italian, you know.
It's a pizza
It's a party. And it's starting to smoke in. So we'll just I'll pour it in for you just to.
Thanks, babe.
You don't have to pour over me. You don't have to pour over me.
I was looking at while I put the dough on you.
Yeah, all right. So we'll pour in some of it, not all, but the idea here is pour in some, and then kind of just like tilt the pan around, kind of like almost like you'd be making a crepe. Depending on how thick your little batter is, you'll have a better chance of doing this or not. But it's kind of slow, you know.
This part of like making pizza dough in a pan, is epic because you don't need a friggin' oven. So if you're in a college dorm or you're traveling and all you got is a little thing like this, that's all you need. It's pretty epic.
Yeah. And even if you were using regular pizza dough, you can do the exact same thing. You could roll out pizza dough, pop it in there, any kind of dough you want. Some people do like, this is more of a bake thing, where they take cauliflower, they blend it up, they add some sort of, you know, mixer, kind of thickener or whatever to it, and they bake it. They make cauliflower pizza. That's become like the new thing these days, you know?
I mean, I hate to say it, but it's been the old thing for me for quite some time.
It's been
but
the old, yeah.
I'm glad that it's catching on.
You start all the trends, don't you?
Yeah, sure don't. I'm like, at least not the cool ones. Let's start the weird ones. But that's what we have in common. We both love weird stuff and going outside of the box, and that's how really this started, because a lot of people were like, well, it's not pizza. It doesn't have wheat, it doesn't have flour, it doesn't have an egg. And I was just like, that's great, but it's the experience, not necessarily the vessel. It looks the same, and it's like, and it makes me feel better. So
yeah, you bring up a good point about experience. A lot of times food, we think about like it needs to be a certain way. But when you really break down what pizza is, it's some kind of dough, some kind of sauce, maybe something cheesy, and some toppings. So if you take that idea and expand on it, you can start to have fun. You can make things that are really wholesome. Like what's crazy about this, that's just beans. Literally just beans, and all the toppings you're putting on, tomatoes, vegetables. So you're eating something that's like really healthy and good for you, but you feel like you're eating pizza.
yeah.
And it's not like one of those fake, like, oh, it's good.
You are eating pizza. It's like, think about those times when we've made, you know, watermelon pizza in the summertime.
Watermelon pizza.
Yeah.
We've made that?
Yeah.
That sounds good. That makes sense.
Like, what dimension were you in when we ate it?
We call everything pizza, basically. Tortilla pizza, watermelon pizza.
Yeah.
Eggplant pizza.
Because it is.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Guys, don't let anyone tell you that you're not eating pizza. You can turn pancakes into pizza if you want. So I'm just saying.
Pancake pizza sounds good. Yeah. But it's really true, and it's like, and we're not saying, this is not in some way, we both love great food. We're not pretending like, oh, this cardboard pizza, it's great, guys, like, try it. No, this is seriously amazing, and maybe the first time it's not going to taste just like pizza, and you might be thrown off, but don't approach it as like, this is going to taste like pizza. Approach it as, this is just going to be its own delicious thing that you're creating in the moment.
Yes.
Okay, so now this is cooked on both sides. We're going to take a quick pause and then bring our ingredients over, and we're pretty much ready to go. All right, so now we have all of our prepped ingredients. Imagine your friends have come over, they brought all their goodies, and you're ready to go. You've got your beautiful shells right here. These are the chickpea shells we made. They're actually very fragile. They're not like some weird crumbling apart stuff. You can toss them around. That's at the pizza party. And just to go over a couple of the ingredients, you want to explain a little bit about, you know?
Guys, we got a beautiful cornucopia, a rainbow of deliciousness for you. We've got some crunchy. We got a little bit of the bell pepper. Delicious. Black beans, of course, because why not?
Black beans, amazing.
Delicious.
This is a tomato sauce we made. Basically, you just cook down a little bit of garlic and some oil, and sometimes I'll add onions. I didn't have onions, and then just a can of tomatoes, really good San Marzano tomatoes. with a little water and salt, and just cook that down until it gets thick. You can get a pureed tomato sauce, but I like the diced because it's like chunky and meaty. And then
Makes it feel real Italian.
Makes it feel
doesn't
very.
it?
It smells. It's just like between the basil.
You're
and
killing
the
off
tomato
any
sauce.
vampires in the process.
That's very important when you're cooking.
Your cholesterol. All the goodness, right?
It does. It very much does. Yeah. So the other thing is, from the earlier techniques, you learned how to blanch. We have some blanched spinach. You learned how to saute some stuff. We had some sauteed mushrooms. You learned how to roast some roast Brussels sprouts. The last thing, and this is very optional, we don't usually use this, but sometimes if you really want a little extra cheesiness, usually we'll make our own cheeses. But
Which
there are
is
certain super easy. But there are certain companies that do make cheese, specifically Daya. They make a pretty good cheese substitute. It's made from like tapioca and maybe cashews and stuff. But we usually make it. But it's kind of fun sometimes to have that extra little bit of cheesiness. So let's build. Why don't we each build a pizza?
This is like going back to like kindergarten. Remember how you get to have those sort of like art tables and stuff like that? Like that to me is what this is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like being able to kind of hang out, play, make something. And it's like, you know, the thing is like these are pretty big, but you could make small ones so everyone has their own little individual pizza in case
I'm gonna
you
eat
have
individually.
those friends.
This one for me.
I know that, so I was like, well.
So
Josh knows that if he has food on his plate that I will, and there isn't meat on it, then I will be
gotta make extra.
borrowing some.
We are food destroyers. Don't pretend that we like restrict ourselves. That's part of this program. It's not like we eat nothing. We eat a lot of food, but when you're eating whole foods and stuff, you can eat a lot more. You can eat a lot more vegetables than you can, you know, filler stuff like wheat and, you know, even meat.
The thing is too is like when you're eating real food, guys, you're gonna start to notice a difference in your energy levels, your digestion, your skin, your mood, like all these things that sound insane. You're like, well, my doctor told me I need a pill for that. But the thing is that, you know, it's like Hippocrates said,
don't need it.
Food is medicine. And this is preventative medicine, guys.
Yeah, so a lot of this course, like part of the healing with the food, is realizing that just by eating whole foods and getting in tune with like what you really need, automatically your body's going to start healing itself. Because your body has all the tools that it needs to heal itself from almost anything that you could imagine. And when you're putting in the right fuel, your car is going to be working properly. And if you're not, you're going to need those extra medications just to like, it's like dealing with the symptoms and stuff. Oh, this looks good.
Anyone who tells you like they're going to fix it and give you the cure-all, be-all, you want to watch out and just kind of ask yourself, like, what are they selling me? Because the thing is that the best doctors in the world, which are very hard to find, will say, hey, this is what I want you to do. And once you do it, you should never come back and see me because you now know how to take care of yourself. That's what someone did to me when I was a kid. When I was 15, finally got diagnosed with Candida.
Candida.
Sounds like a dance. Candida. And severe gluten intolerance and a lot of other things before I was diagnosed with celiac. And the guy was awesome. He was like, hey, if you want to keep being sick and experiencing depression and all these issues, like, keep eating what you're eating, and it means you want to be sick. And that, for me, was, like, one of the biggest wake-up calls. I was like, oh, wow, that's what a real doctor does.
Yeah.
So,
like, this is amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this so you guys can see. Get my little microphone up here. So we have one pizza done. This will be the cheese one, and the other one we can do without, so you can kind of see the difference. If it will focus on.
I'm gonna do a little bit of cheese.
You're doing cheese. Oh, we're doing the. We're cheesing it up today, folks. Why not?
I'm not sharing.
You're not sharing.
No.
What do you mean? Why not? That one looks beautiful.
You said you didn't want to share, so
That's
I
not.
figured.
No. I'm just saying I could eat one of these whole myself.
We will rewind the video.
We will find out. It's a beautiful
Guys,
pizza.
it's really important when you're making food. Have fun, poke around. People get super serial about like, you suck, you do this, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, just, you know, like have fun. Like, I love this guy, you know, to smithereens, and I love making food, so why not have some fun?
Gotta have fun in the kitchen, get some music on, dance around. It's a pizza party.
Yeah.
And now, so what we're gonna do is just, you ready to go pretty much? I'm getting hungry. I'm smelling the smell.
This is reminding me of papaya. I mean, not papaya. Wow, I got papaya on the papaya. This is reminding me of pineapple pizza when I was a kid. They used to have with thick
looks kind of like pineapple.
ham.
So what we're going to do now, we have the oven basically as hot as it can go. It's at 550 degrees. So We're just gonna toss it in. We have like a little baking sheet with some parchment paper. Toss it in. It's gonna take like 5 minutes, and it's gonna fry up because everything's ready to go. That's cool. Ready?
You're going to be delicious.
Let's see ya. You pop that on there. Maybe I can. Oh, you all right, baby? Yeah.
It's also
We're working in a tight kitchen, but check that out. Look at this, beautiful.
Ninja kitchen.
Okay, let's pop that in. We'll see you guys in just a minute. All right, pizza party time. You excited, babe? Are you excited? All right, she's excited. Gotta dance for the pizza.
I got the pizza wiggles.
We did add some fresh basil at the very end because fresh basil. We're growing some basil right now, and it is the time to eat basil.
Smells so good.
Here, you want to do some cutting?
Oh, God.
Look at that.
That's not a knife. This is a knife.
What's cool too about the chickpea bread is you can make it as thick or as thin as you want. And we make this a lot of times just to have on the side of dishes without even adding stuff to it. We'll make this little chickpea bread in a pan or you bake it. And it's just a great way to kind of have that chewiness without the wheat. Oh, I'm so excited.
It's also just great too, like if you're plant-based and people always have this huge fear, phobia around, I'm not gonna get enough protein. And thing is that, you know, plant foods, you would be shocked.
Oh yeah, this crust, the protein ability in this crust.
Yeah, I've been Evco vegan for, is it 4 years now?
Yeah.
But all I can say is this: do I look weak?
And look at that. If you can
Like,
see the difference in size, mine's thicker, hers is thinner. So if you like more of a thin crust, I took one of your slices. I kind of want one of your slices first.
No, you can have it.
Ready? Bless this beautiful meal.
So much love.
We usually would not eat standing up, but just to show you guys that it's delicious and we're not fooling everyone.
Well, first of all, I don't eat nothing that don't taste good because otherwise it's a waste. I'm super grateful to share this meal. All the amazing, epic people that made this possible, the farmers, the purveyors, the truck drivers, and I just hope that they have something delicious that they're eating too. Because we're so lucky to have this. And guys.
My mouth is blessed.
I bet it is.
And my Jackie enjoys. Thank you guys for watching this video. This week is a lot of fun because it's all about bringing this practice out into the world, bringing friends in, having fun with it, not feeling like you're in your own little bubble, but being like, hey, I'm doing this cool experience. Let's throw a pizza party. How many diets can you say ask you to throw a pizza party with your friends? Probably not many. We'll see you soon.